Hello and welcome to Gardening at 58 North. So in this video I'm going to do something a bit different, not the plant videos. What I'm going to be doing is showing you how I'm going to make my new studio bench for filming on. So this here is an Ikea Knoxhult and I'll be adapting it to make it a movable studio bench so I can film on it. There's a couple of reasons why I've chosen this. I could have gone and made my own complete custom made bench, but that would have been a lot of time and it wouldn't have looked as professional as well because I'm not a master craftsman or anything. And then also it comes with storage as well, so I really wanted something which had a drawer. So this one here has a drawer, and then it also has plenty of under cupboard storage as well. I haven't fitted the handles yet, but there's shelves and under storage so I can put compost and other things that I'm needing for the filming. So that's why I've gone for this. So another reason that I went for this one is it's a decent size, but also I'll be able to make it without having to cut anything. And although I can cut stuff with large pieces of wood, I never cut very straight lines. I'm not very good at that. So what I've done is I've managed to find that a very easily available size of plywood fits perfectly for the base to put this on caster wheels. So I put the measurements on screen for this, but basically this is quite an easily found size. And the idea is I can put this on the base and it fits pretty much perfectly. I don't have to do any extra cutting or anything, and that'll make a nice base for the caster wheels. So the first thing I need to do is flip it over and secure the wooden base, which the casters will then attach to. So I have to take out the shelving for this. Ideally I would have done this before to put the cupboard doors on to make it a bit lighter, but it was still okay. But it's quite heavy, so if you are flipping it over yourself, do be careful. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to position the plywood on top. It's not a perfect fit, but it's pretty close. And the idea of this video is I wanted to show that you can make this setup without having to have all the tools that you would normally have to make a customized workbench or anything like that, and you can just buy off the shelf product and basically just screw them together. So I'm just going to position this so it's even on all sides. It is a slightly wider base than the top, but it's actually the identical size as the worktop on the I think on the top of it. So I think it's maybe slightly narrower, but the exact same width, so it's not going to have too much overhang. So I just have to have a think now how I'm going to position it, if I'm going to have it a similar amount of overlap on all sides or overlap one side or the other. But I think I'm just going to go with a similar overlap on all sides. So I'm just going to get my measuring tape, make sure that it's evenly spaced. So I'm happy with the positioning of that. What I'm going to do now, because I don't have any clamps, I'm just going to put some heavy objects on the top to keep it in position whilst I'm working on it. I've recently been making my studio shed, so I've just got some high density plasterboard, and that is just going to be my weight for now to keep it down in place. So I now need to think about screwing it together. So there's a couple of ways I could have done this, but what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pre-drill. You could probably get away without pre-drilling, especially if you go for quite thick plywood like I have, but ideally you do want to do a bit of pre-drilling first to make sure you're going to get it in correctly. Now luckily for the four corners I can just use my eyes. I don't need to measure it because I can quite easily see where it's going to match up. So I can quite easily just mark it with a pencil and then pre-drill. And so I'm going to do the four corners. As I say, I'm not going for 100% accuracy with this build. It's just supposed to be an easy build, and the idea is that it's this part that is going to be on the bottom anyway, so even if you're not completely true to the millimeter, no one's ever going to see it. So I'll just get them pre-drilled now. So now it's pre-drilled, I'm just going to countersink it slightly, so when I put the screws in, they're going to sit nice and flush. This isn't too essential. If you're doing it yourself, it's underneath, no one's going to see it, so it's not essential, it just looks a bit nicer. So now that I've countersunk, it's time to put the screws in. I'm just using some 50mm by 5mm screws. They're not particularly long, but they're quite thick and chunky, so they're going to be fairly strong. I don't want them too long because if I am slightly off at an angle, the problem is it's going to slightly poke out of the unit below. So I'm going to screw this in. So that's the four corners now done. As you can see, we've still got a little bit of give in it. I'd like to get it a bit more solid. This is probably solid enough for just having the weight on it, because to be honest, there's not going to be a lot of forces put on this. It's mainly just gravity pushing down with the weight of the table. But I'd like to also get a couple of screw points in the back here. So for this, I can't just eyeball it. I've got to actually measure it up. So when it comes to the bottom of this base, it's basically like a H shape. You've got 2 lines coming down here for supports, and you've also got a support here at the back. It's not at the very back, so that when you're standing next to it, your feet don't catch it. It's around about here. And then as you can see, there's nothing underneath, which will actually be a little feature of this build. It means that I'll be able to use that as an extra storage shelf. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to measure to the edge of that bit of wood underneath, and then I'm just going to add on whatever half the thickness of the wood is. So I'm about 15 millimeters, so I'm going to add an extra 7.5 millimeters to make sure I get right in the middle. And I'd like to put in 2 supports just to make sure it's extra secure. So I'm just going to measure it up. It's exactly 9 centimeters. I'll just double check the other side. And then I'm just going to add that extra 7.5 millimeters to the 9 centimeters to make the spacing that I want. And then the same process as before, I'm just going to pre-drill, countersink, and then screw down. So now it's time to fit the casters. So these are the casters that I've gone for. I'll put an affiliate link down in the description. I'm not getting paid by this company or anything, but these are some nice casters, and if you do buy them off my affiliate link, I'll make a small bit of money. So this here, these are some nice heavy duty casters. The reason why I've gone for slightly heavier duty ones than I actually need is because this is going to be quite a heavy unit, and when I'm moving it around, I want it to be nice and easily moved around. If I could go for one that's much smaller and not as heavy duty, but the thing is, although it can take the weight, it could be a little bit harder to push. And if I go for small diameter wheels, if there's any little bits of dirt on the ground with sort of a heavy unit, that could get a little bit of opposition. So I just want to have a fairly large wheel diameter and a very heavy duty one, just to make moving it around the room much easier. So with these, as I say, heavy duty, and I went for one with a brake as well, so that I can lock it in position, because when I'm working on this bench, I'll be filming me repotting and doing various things with plants. I could be putting quite a lot of movement into it. I need to make sure it's nice and solid and it's not going to move around and shake on the camera. So I've gone for ones with brakes. And because I've got brakes, that means I do need to put them at the edge, and I do need to make sure that I'll be able to get those brakes with my foot. So we'll have a look at the first corner and see how we're going to set this up. So these coasters come with some nice bolts as well, included in the pack. So I'm just going to be using them to bolt these down. Now, ideally, I would have liked it right on the corner, so it gives a little bit more stability. And also, because these come with brakes, I need to be able to put my foot on it. But because of the way that it bolts into the existing unit, I won't be able to get access to the bolts. So what I'll have to do instead is I just have to put it a tiny bit inwards. That way, I'll be able to get the bolts through, and I won't get that bit of wood in the way. I just have to make sure when I position these that there's enough overhang here so I can still put my foot on it and engage the brake. Otherwise, it'll be kind of useless having a brake on it if I can't get my foot under to engage it. So what I'm going to do is just position it where I want it, and then just going to mark it with a pencil, and then I can drill the holes. So because these are bolts, I'm going to have to drill the holes out the same diameter as the bolt, put the bolts through, and then bolt it together with a nut on the other side. So it's now time for me to put the bolts on. So what I'm going to do is I've threaded it through the hole there, and then what I need to do is put the locking ring in. Just goes underneath it there, and then I can start screwing up the bolt onto the, screwing up the nut onto the bolt. Just screw it until it's hand tight, and then I'm just going to go around and do that with all of them. Once they're all tightened up by hand, I'll then use my spanner to get it really nice and tight and secure. And as I'm doing this, I'm just swinging the caster around so that I can get the access I need. So that's them all hand tightened. It already feels nice and secure, but I'm just going to make sure these are going to be fully tightened. So just get the correct size spanner, and then I'm just going to tighten them fully. So I'm not tightening these as tight as I possibly can, because these are quite solid bolts and they will actually just start crushing through the wood. So I'm just getting them really nice and tight. And then if I'm hearing a lot of crunching noises from the wood, I'm stopping at that point there, because I know it's nice and solid and it's putting plenty of pressure on the wood. As I say, I don't want to overdo it because it will just start crushing the wood and causing more damage. And there we go, finished. The workbench on caster wheels runs nice and smoothly. I couldn't resist that at the end to have a little ride on it, but yeah, completely smooth, nice to work with. So this will be great for my filming setup. So the idea is I can move this around because my studio shed is quite small. I can have it in the middle of the room here, and I can then use this space for filming, or I can just move it out of the way if I want to film a big plant, and I can have this huge area standing space, or I can even actually wheel this behind where the camera is now and have a master space here in the corner for me to film in. So this will be great for me. So if you want to make this yourself, I'd say I've got all the links in the description for all the items, and you could modify it as well as you see fit. This is designed as a kitchen unit to be strapped to the wall, so that's why the front looks nice. If I spin it round, you'll see that it's actually not got a nice face on the back of it. So what you could do is, if you have really big space, is have two of these together and have a massive square workbench. Or what you can do is put on some extra doors on the back half. You will need to modify that because it won't natively attach. You will need to do your own kind of hinges and doors, but you could do that. Or you could have it bare, or anything you want really. You could just customize it further. And one thing to note is I'm 6'4", so if you're quite short, this might not be the workbench for you because of the wheels that are put on it and the extra thick plywood. It's taken it up to this height here, which is perfect for me, but a lot of people find this a bit high if you're not quite tall. As I say, I'm 6'4", so for me, ideal, but for other people, it might be a little bit high for your needs. So that's all from this video. I hope you found it interesting and useful if you want to make your own workbench. As I say, I just wanted to make a simple guide that doesn't require any cutting, and anyone with just basic tools could probably do by themselves. One thing to note is it is very heavy, so when you're turning it upside down, you'll probably need some help with that, unless you're particularly strong, because it is, as I say, a very heavy unit.